Hey everyone, Mark Shigate here, bringing you guys the news in the flash. Let's get into it. Paramore has announced that they'll be heading on a new tour this September with support from Best Coast. What's also interesting is that they announced that they're teaming up with Ticketmaster in order to help make sure that tickets actually end up in the hands of the fans, and not ticket scalpers. If you guys are interested in checking out the dates, they will be below in the description. Between the Buried and Me have announced they'll be heading on a large 10th anniversary tour for their album Colors. The tour will be kicking off in September and run all the way through October, and support will come from The Contortionist, Polyphia, and Tooth Grinder. If you guys are interested in checking out those dates, they'll also be below in the description. While She Sleeps has released a new music video for Empire the Silence, which is off their new album You Are We, and the Summer Sets Brian Dales has released his first solo track titled Young for the Summer, originality at its finest. Anyways, lyrically, the song would fit in right away with any other Somerset song. But in terms of sound, it actually has somewhat of a Hello Goodbye vibe with it, with its synthy beats. Does anyone in my audience even know who Hello Goodbye is? Or did they just die out with the MySpace era? No, I just checked. Apparently they're still rocking it. Apparently they have a new album coming out relatively soon. Interesting. Anyways, if you guys want to check out either of those, both of them will be down in the description. Now for the final story of the day, and it's one that I've been watching for about a week now, but I just didn't jump on board with it, simply because I wanted to see if more details in the story would come to light. Last week, Ben Hopkins of the queer punk duo Power Bottom was accused of sexual assault by multiple people. It started off with someone sharing their story in a Facebook group, and it took off from there. Like, shit hit the fan in a matter of days. It started with them canceling their show and releasing a statement saying they wanted to hear the full story from the survivors. Then both the opening acts that were on their tour exited, and both of them released statements on why they were exiting, along with one of Power Bottom's touring musicians departing from the band, and it just got worse from there. Next, Salty Artist Management, who was managing the band, decided to drop them and release a statement on why, and then their record label, Polyvinyl Record Company, announced that they were dropping the band from the label with the statement, "Throughout our 20 years, Polyvinyl has purposely operated on the core principle that everyone deserves to be treated with fairness and respect. There is absolutely no place in this world for hate, violence, abuse, discrimination, or predatory behavior of any kind. In keeping with this philosophy, we want to let everyone know that we are ceasing to sell and distribute Power Bottom's music. Our heart goes out to all the victims of discrimination and all survivors of sexual violence." Now, one of the things I have to bring up, and I have to bring this up because while it's unpopular, it still is true, is that as far as the story has gone, these claims are still just allegations. There has been no announcement of an investigation or any legal action so far as I've heard. And if we really want to talk about fairness and respect here, Ian Watkins, formerly of Lost Prophets, was at least given the chance to prove his innocence, and what he was accused of and eventually found guilty of was 1,000 times worse than what Ben is being accused of, and yet they released a statement about the band as if the allegations were true. They dropped the band and ceased selling the band's music based off of internet allegations, which makes me wonder something curious. Did they know about this beforehand and are only now acting upon it seeing as the public found out? And yeah, their music is being pulled. You can no longer buy their music off iTunes or Amazon. Yet you know who you can buy off iTunes? Lost Prophets. Now, I want to be clear that I am not making any sort of accusations against the record label. I understand that as a business that deals heavily in diverse crowds of people, especially with the LGBT community, it makes a lot of sense to try and get as much distance as possible from a situation like this. But it's still a bit curious to see how quickly that statement came out. And it's still, what they're essentially doing is destroying an entire band based off the allegations around one person. And not discrediting any of the sexual allegations, but some of the allegations just includes name calling, and one of them even included smearing eyeshadow over someone's face without consent. I don't know. One side of me wants to say, yeah, this dude's a complete piece of shit, and the other side of me is like, yeah, but what if? And at the end of the day, I just need more facts before I can settle on which side. I can't just come out and say, yeah, fuck this dude, he's a piece of shit, because I don't have all the facts in place here. But at the same time, I can't just ignore the fact that there are multiple people making allegations against him. That's why I'm leaving the story to you guys, so you can share your opinions with me on how you feel about it. Leave them down in the comments below and let me know how you feel. Thank you all for joining me for another episode. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the episode. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want more, and I will check you all in the next one. Mars out. You see, this is why I like to be introverted. Nobody really messes with you when you prefer to be by yourself. Nobody really fucks you when you just want to be left alone. Well, except yourself, but that's a different story.